Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning and welcome to the virtual workshop series for the 2021 Single Mothers Conference. My name is Brianna Villagrana, and to help us kick things off, we have Rebecca Worthington, the VP of Marketing for Benchmark Federal Credit Union. We'd like to thank Benchmark for being our returning title sponsor and Health Partner Plans for being our engaging sponsor and for supporting single mothers. Just a quick reminder, at 10:30 this morning, we're going to have a family scavenger hunt, so get the kids and tune in for that. Followed by a presentation from career coach Jamela Henry at 11, a mental health workshop at 12 with Delisi Washington, and finally our beauty segment with Mary Kay at 1. You can access all of today's workshops with the Zoom link provided at registration or watch via our Facebook page at facebook.com/singlemotherscc. Thank you again for joining us, and take it away, Rebecca.
Thank you, Brianna. Good morning, everybody. I'm Rebecca Worthington, the Vice President of Marketing at Benchmark Federal Credit Union, the only federal credit union to exclusively serve Chester County. This is our 6th consecutive year as the title sponsor of the Chester County Single Mothers Conference. And we're so thrilled to help support resources for all the single moms in our community. We're so glad you could join us for today's virtual workshops with topics from finance to mental health, careers, and more. This year's conference theme is resilience and reinvention. The past year has forced many of us to reinvent our lives. But in the midst of trying to remember what the kids' school schedule was, from fully virtual to hybrid to in-person, and trying to buy groceries and work safely, you may not have had time yet to take a closer look at your finances. That's why I'm here this morning to present Benchmark Federal Credit Union's top 10 savings tips. Let's get started. Tip number 1, if you're not already doing it, commit to buying generic or store brands at the grocery store this month. This can save you big bucks on your monthly grocery bill. So the key is to plan some extra time on your next shopping trip and actually take your list, and while you're going around buying your groceries, kind of browse around and look for what the store and generic brands are off of your list. And just a little tip is that on the grocery store shelves, you're going to find the store and the generic brands on the bottom 2 rows. They always leave the prime real estate, which is the eye level shelves, for the brand names. So you will have to shop around or browse around a little bit to find those generic and store brands. But if you can find an alternative to what you're used to buying, that is a store or generic brand, it will greatly help you save on your monthly grocery bill. Also, never shop without a list. This is a key point too. So when you go to the grocery store, if you have your list, you're more likely to stick to it, and you're more likely to know exactly and be able to budget for what you're going to spend. If you go without a list, you'll start browsing up and down the aisles, and then you'll start just picking up things that catch your eye. And then all of a sudden you've blown your budget and you've bought a lot more than what you needed. And then finally, I'm sure we've all heard this from our mom or our grandmother or somebody within our life as we were growing up, but never shop on an empty stomach. That is just a little bit of a tip there. They say that your bill will be almost double if you shop on an empty stomach, because you're actually buying based on your current hunger. So make sure you've had a little snack before you go to the grocery store. Tip number 2. Plan for a spend-free weekend or summer. Arrange for some free fun this weekend or throughout the entire summer. Maybe make a family plan to say, we're going to do some activities together, but we're going to make it so that it's free activities all summer long. Whether it's a family hike in a local park, such as Marsh Creek, a picnic in your living room, or maybe even a movie night with neighbors in your backyard, or a camp out with your kids in your backyard. Concentrate on having fun without spending money. I know it sounds like it's a hard thing to do and it will take a little extra effort, but if you do some advanced research for free activities within your community, which there are plenty of them these days, then you'll be able to put the money you would have spent into a savings account. And by the end of the summer, You'll be amazed at the savings you've been able to acquire, but you've been able to acquire that all while still having fun with your family. So just look for some fun activities to be able to spend a free weekend or summer with your family. Our next tip, pledge a 31-day hiatus from clothes shopping. I know this is not going to be anybody's favorite tip. Believe me, it's my least favorite. So it might be a little bit easier right now, since a lot of us have been working from home, and obviously the dress code's a little different when you work from home. But as we start to open back up and we all start to go back to the office, make sure, find a month and pledge that 31-day hiatus from clothes shopping. Don't be lured by the big sale emails and texts that you get from your favorite retailers. I know it happens all the time. Our phones are dinging, or emails are dinging with those big sale emails. But before you fall victim to those big sale emails, take inventory of your current closet to see if you truly need anything. If you don't, then you're not really saving, even though the retailer has said, oh, it's a big sale. You didn't really need anything. So you're spending your hard-earned savings. So if you really don't need anything, then see if you can pledge this hiatus. But when you're looking at your closet, do two things. First, remove items that you haven't worn in over a year. If you have not worn that item in over a year, the likelihood of you doing so is very slim. So take those items and bag them up and actually donate them to charity. It'll not only be a warm, fuzzy good deed that you feel like you've donated to charity, but it will also give you a tax deduction at year end. And it's helping somebody else when they go and they need to actually go to, Goodwill and look for some items. So it's kind of like us all helping each other out. And then the other thing is, look in your closet and remove any items, and either remove them and pack them away or donate them if they don't fit right now. I know a tip I always do is if they don't fit, I might pack them away for a little bit and save them in case, I can fit into them in, another year or so. But you might just want to clean house and donate them. And then once you've done that, you will be starting with a fresh new closet. Everything fits, everything's current, you like to wear it. And then if you notice that a few staple items are missing and you need to go shopping for them, then wait for one of those big sale emails from your favorite store and you can go shop for it. But otherwise, see if you can pledge a 31-day hiatus. Or here's the other thing, a lot of stores you'll walk in and you're going for one item. You need a pair of black pants. But when you walk in, the store says buy one, get one half off. So you're kind of like, well, I have to buy two then. Well, that's not really that great of a savings because you really only need one and you really only budgeted to go in and buy one. And now you're having to pay that half price for the other pair. I understand you're getting two, but maybe go shopping with a friend or a family member. And then when you walk in, if you both need a pair of black pants and it's buy one, get one half off, that's great. Maybe the pants were going to be $10 and that's what you budgeted for. Now you're going to get two pairs for $15. But if you go with a friend or family member, you each get a pair and then you only had to pay $7.50. So either take a 31-day hiatus or go shopping with a friend and see if there isn't sales where you can split the bill so that you stay within budget. Tip number 4, cut the cord today. If you're not using your cable or your landline, consider canceling your service. Can't do without cable, you say? Well, look into streaming services like YouTube TV or Hulu Live with TV. These services cost less than $60 a month, and all you need is an internet connection to be able to access them. Oftentimes, this setup provides a pretty significant cost compared to traditional cable and internet bundles. If you want to save even more long-term, consider buying your own router or modem combo and avoid the rental fees from the internet company. And a best advice is to never get too comfortable with your internet and cable provider. It's similar to your insurance company. They often run specials, but they only market those specials to new members and not, or customers, and not existing customers. So make it a habit to contact your insurance and cable and internet providers on an annual or every other year basis to ensure you're receiving the best deal and not being overcharged for your loyalty. Another key one on that is your cellular. provider. So say you might have AT&T, make sure that, your existing customer, a lot of times there's deals when you first came in, and then when those run out, you might be up for, a new phone or to upgrade your service, and you just go right back to AT&T because it's easier. But a lot of times they won't give you those deals that a new member walking in the door would get because you are already an existing customer. However, if you were to ask them about it or even inquire, and then you were to say you were going to go somewhere else, a lot of times then they'll all of a sudden say, oh yeah, we can give you that deal. So don't just stay comfortable with your cable and internet, your insurance, or your cellular provider. Make sure that you shop around on a frequent basis to get the best deal possible. Tip number 5, plan in advance for your next shopping trip. If you plan in advance for your next shopping trip and you take advantage of coupon sites, which there's many out there, it's not like back in the day when you would see our moms getting the Sunday paper and cutting out all of the coupons. There's actually now apps and coupon sites out there that can help you proactively save. Sites such as Swagbucks enable you to access coupons for grocery stores, drugstores, clothing stores, just about anywhere you might want to shop. And in addition, you have cash back options when you're shopping online. So be sure before you go out on your next big shopping trip to maybe browse around or ask some friends and ask them what actual coupon sites or apps that they like, and take a minute to go out there and see what you can find to save you some money during your shopping trip. Our next tip, sign up for cashback apps and for a cashback app or two. Cashback apps and websites return a percentage of the money that you spend on a daily basis for everyday items that you actually need, like necessities such as shampoo, deodorant, groceries, stuff like that. And they'll return a percentage of the money you spend back to you. So why shouldn't you get paid a little bit for doing your shopping? Some will offer a straight cashback refund to you, while others will actually offer retail gift cards and other items. Some popular cashback apps include WikiBuy, Honey, Fetch Rewards, and Checkout 51. There is a million cashback apps out there. They were just to name a few. I know there's like Rakuten that we all see on TV, but do me a favor, just go out and start to kind of browse around, check them out. I know a lot of my friends have absolutely loved that. They're like, I have to go shopping and buy, the everyday necessities like toiletries and groceries and stuff like that for the house. And they said, why shouldn't I get, paid for actually doing my shopping? I truly was a little hesitant until I tried it for the first time, but you're going to get paid. I mean, it's not half of what you're shelling out, but it actually is a percentage. And it's actually nice to get those back, whether it's the cashback refund or the retail gift cards. And you might prefer one option over the other. So just browse around, find the cashback app or a couple of them that suit your needs, and then start to use those when you're doing your shopping. Tip number 7. Now that you're realizing all of these savings, it's time to automate your savings. If you find that you're able to follow our tips, you may be already seeing a savings build up within your account, and that is fabulous. So now it's time to move the extra cash on hand from your checking account to a savings account where it can continue to build and earn interest. You can do this manually via a transfer on online banking at your institution, or another option that would be very helpful if you didn't want to have to remember to do it manually is to set up a portion of your direct deposit of your paycheck right into the savings account instead of the checking account, because you can split your direct deposit between two accounts at an institution. So if after you've done these tips for a little bit and you notice, oh, I have an extra $75 in my account, each checking account each month, now that I'm following these savings tips, then actually go and ask your payroll to increase and to change your direct deposit so that that 75 goes right into your savings account instead of your checking account. You want the extra funds, whether you transfer them manually or you set up the direct deposit, to go into your savings account, because the funds in your savings account are accessible via an ATM withdrawal. However, they're not accessible via a debit card purchase. So when you're in line at a store and making a purchase, you will not be able to use your debit card to pull from funds in your savings account. And so this way, you will not have readily easy access to the extra funds if they're sitting in your savings account when you're actually in the checkout line. And this will mean that you won't accidentally be in Target and all of a sudden your Target run that you were only supposed to buy 2 items and you end up with 2 basketfuls. You won't be able to pull out your debit card and actually pay for that because those funds, those extra funds each month are sitting in your savings account and you can't use your debit card to purchase that. So then you would have to pull out a credit card. And a lot of times people are more inclined to think twice about a purchase if they have to put it on a credit card than they are if they are putting it on their debit card, just because the fact that debit card pulls directly from your checking account. So you feel like it's not credit. So that way, make sure those extra funds are not in your checking and you've moved them to your savings so they can continue to build. Tip number 8, pay down your credit card balances. This is a big one. If you follow our tips, you will find that you have a little extra cash in your account each month. Why not use it proactively to pay down those high rate credit card balances so that you can save interest? You don't need to wait for your monthly statement to come to be able to make a payment. You can simply log on to your credit card account online and make additional payments each month, monthly, weekly, daily. And if you are going to say, oh, well, I have my credit card payment set up automatically to be deducted from my account and I don't want to mess with that. You don't have to mess with that automatic payment that's already set up. You can actually make additional payments. So you could just call the credit card company, or you could go right on your you could go right online to your account and you could actually set up an additional, principal only payment. And the nice thing about doing that is if you start to make extra payments to your credit card, other than just the minimum payment that's due every month on your statement, then you will pay down the interest, that you will pay down the principal faster and pay less interest. And that's actually always a good thing, because I know a lot of times this is the norm in society, is that we use our credit cards for everyday things, such as we ate out at a restaurant last night, or we're at the grocery store and we're at Target paying for toiletries. And so we're using our credit card for like little everyday items. And then all of a sudden, by the time we're paying them off, we've paid triple or double what that item costs because we have to pay so much interest. And then not only that, by the time we finally get it paid off, we don't even remember what those balances on our cards are for. It's not like we're going out and we're buying a huge ticket item a lot of times. It's that we have $1,500 on our Target card. And guess what? It was all to buy toiletries and some clothes. Well, we don't even remember that 6 months later when that's what we're still paying on. So if you have some extra money in your account from following these savings tips, pay down on your credit cards. It's always a good idea because, first of all, the credit cards, most times, especially store cards, are at interest rates from 18% up to 28%. And that means that if you're making just the minimum payment, you're barely putting anything to principal. Tip 9, have a lot of high interest debt payments that you're trying to manage and remember to pay each month. Then consider a balance transfer credit card. There are a few items to consider before acquiring a balance transfer credit card. One is, don't go for a card that charges an annual fee. There are so many cards in the market these days that do not charge an annual fee that there's never really a reason that you need to pay an annual fee, unless for some reason you want some type of specialty card, like a certain Amex or something like that, because that's more widely accepted where you say you travel for your work and that's more widely accepted, then that's fine. Pay that annual card fee. But just for a general, you're getting a new card to do a balance transfer, shop around. There's plenty of them in the market that don't charge an annual card fee. And the second thing to look at is what's the interest rate for the balance transfer card? And what is the term? How long is that interest rate available for? Also, if you don't pay off the transferred debt in that promotional term period, are you then going to be charged for all the back interest? There are certain store cards out there that will do something like that. They'll offer you 0% for say 12 months. And then all of a sudden, when that 12 months is up, if you hadn't paid off that full balance that you transferred over and during that promotion, then all of a sudden, all of the interest for those past 12 months get tacked on because you didn't pay the balance off during the promotional period. So make sure and look at the fine print and make sure that there's none of that, back interest charged if you don't pay the full balance in the promotional period. And number 3, is there a balance transfer fee? That is a big one to look at. Some people are okay with a balance transfer fee, and sometimes it's actually worth it to pay a balance transfer fee, and other times it is not. So what that actually means with the balance transfer fee is many credit card promotions will offer 0% for 12 months, 24 months, maybe even 36 months. It's really rare if you find one that says they offer 0% until your transferred balance is paid in full. If you find that, that is like a unicorn. So you might want to take a closer look at that one. But most of them are for 12, 24, or 36 months. But they charge anywhere to give you that 0%. They still need to make some type of money, the institution does. So they'll charge anywhere from 2 to 5% balance transfer fee. And what that means is that they're taking the total balance that you're asking to transfer over to your new card, and they're going to times it by what their balance transfer fee is. So say, for example, you're trying to transfer $5,000 balance over to a new card, and their balance transfer, you're going to get 0 for 12 months, but their balance transfer fee is 3%. That means they're going to charge you a $150 fee to be able to do that balance transfer. And that $150 is tacked right onto the transferred balance. So instead of your new card having only the $5,000 that you're transferring over, your new card's now going to have a balance of $5,150. That might not be such a bad idea if all of a sudden you are getting 0% for 36 months on that 5,000 that you're transferring over. If you know that you can have that 5,000 paid off in that 36 month promotional period, then the interest that you're saving, it's probably worth it to pay the 3% balance transfer fee, because you're going to save more in interest over the 36 months than the $150 that you have to pay up front as the balance transfer fee. However, if they're only giving you 0% for say 6 months, and you don't think you can pay off that 5,000 in 6 months, then it's probably not worth it to transfer the balance and pay that balance transfer fee of $150, because the amount of interest you're going to save in 6 months is not even going to equal the $150 you had to pay to do the balance transfer. So just make sure you look at all aspects of a balance transfer promotion, from the term to the rate to what the balance transfer fee is, and do some calculations to make sure that it's worthwhile for you to actually transfer that balance over. And talk to your current institution, see if they offer any balance transfer promotions on their credit cards, or just let you know, currently Benchmark is offering a promotion on our Visa Platinum credit card, and it's 0% for 12 months on purchases and balance transfers. And it's with the 0% balance transfer fee. So we will not be tacking on a fee for you, and 0 annual card fee. So we like to call it the triple play. It's our 000. And if you're interested in hearing more about this or applying, feel free to visit our website at benchmarkfcu.org. And now for savings tip number 10, our final tip for today's workshop. If you're able to follow tips 1 through 9 and change your habits to start building your savings, then that is fantastic. And it's always a good idea to then get some type of budgeting app. That will help you stick to your new budgeting goals. One of the good budgeting apps is Mint. It's a great app for being aware of and tracking your spending. And when I say tracking your spending, I know a lot of us, we spend things and it doesn't seem like a lot of money. It might be $3 here or $10 here on a daily basis. And it doesn't sound like much until you start to add it all up. So for example, I know myself, I'm kind of a convenience person, and I absolutely love to run through the Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts drive-through and actually pick up a cup of coffee instead of having to make it for myself. So I do that on a daily basis. So it's like, okay, so that $2 or $3 cup of coffee doesn't seem like that much that day when I'm sitting at the window paying for it. However, it wasn't until I was actually doing a project that somebody asked me to times that $3 by 31 days. So then I realized how much I was spending each month on coffee. Then they said, oh, you do it every day, even on the weekends. So now times it by 365 days. So then I learned how much I was spending on coffee over a year just for the convenience of someone else making it for me. And once I saw those numbers, all of a sudden that $3 a day seemed like ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? The amount of money I could save. So I made myself like a little challenge and I said, don't go. Actually make your coffee, make your tea, whatever it is you drink, make it at home and save that money for an entire year and see what you can do with it. I was amazed at what I was able to save. So that's what I mean by the Mint budgeting app can actually help you track your daily spending, because a lot of times we don't even realize what we're spending money on. So it's always a good idea to have some type of budgeting app so that you can see that. Or you could actually go on Benchmark's website. We do have quite a few financial calculators that are for free on our website, from budgeting and saving calculators to auto loan calculators, how to afford the best auto loan, and house buying calculators, credit card pay down calculators. So if you're looking for some free financial calculators, feel free to visit our website and browse around. All of our calculators are for free. They're not just for our existing members. Hopefully you found today's savings tips to be informative. And now it's time to map out your future financial goals. By focusing on savings and changing your spending habits, you'll be better prepared to look towards the future and set realistic, specific saving goals. Take some time to list your goals to help you stick to great savings habits, and you'll be able to develop these habits by sticking to those goals. Just to let you know, some savings accounts, if anybody's looking or in the market for a new financial relationship, some savings account options available at Benchmark Federal Credit Union include our basic savings account, which establishes membership at Benchmark, has no monthly service fee, and allows you to earn dividends on your balance. We also have a free Ultimate Saver, a free account that builds your savings effortlessly and links directly to our free Ultimate Checking. If you're interested in becoming a member of Benchmark, right now we're offering an Ultimate membership package. If you open an Ultimate Saver and an Ultimate Checking account with a debit card, which we instant issue at our branches, and you set up a reoccurring direct deposit of at least $200 monthly to go within the first 60 days of opening your account, you have to set up this direct deposit, but that $200 goes in each month to your new Benchmark account. Then Benchmark will deposit a cash bonus of $300 into your new account. But don't wait. If you're interested in joining and taking us up on this great membership promotion, the promotion does end on June 30th. Now I'd like to open it up for any questions. Nick, are there any questions at this time?
There are. Brianna, can you see that in the Q&A?
Yes. So thank you so much, Rebecca. Those were some great tips. So we have a question. Shannon in our chat suggested calling the credit card company to see if they will lower your APR. How do you find a good card to transfer your balance?
So if you already have a card and you have a balance on it, one great step is exactly what Shannon said. Call your current credit card provider and actually tell them, you know, I'm going to start shopping this around. This 24% interest rate that I realize I have seems ridiculous. I know there's promotions out there. A lot of times the credit card companies won't want to lose you. So if you do a one-on-one call with them, a lot of times they will say, oh, well, we have a special promotion for new members, but I guess I could give it to you. So it's always just reaching out and inquiring. And then if they aren't willing to work with you on your interest rate, then the best thing to do is, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of NerdWallet. It's nerdwallet.com. Go out on NerdWallet, and actually NerdWallet does the work for you. They browse around and they actually put like a list of all of the local card companies, or even the big box companies such as, like, you know, a Wells Fargo. They list them in kind of order as to who has the best deal right now based on term, interest rate, balance transfer fee. So that's always a great site you can go to. But I would say start at your current institution, or maybe even if they aren't willing to work, look at another local institution. A lot of times your local institutions, instead of the big box, are willing to work with you more on rate and term and everything like that than your big box credit card holders are.
Thank you. So there was another one, a comment. It says, I like to take a day every few months and take a bag of clothes to a resale store like Style Encore, or take books and music to sell at Second and Charles. It takes up to half an hour for them to sort and give me an offer and or a discount on a purchase that day. What can I do during that waiting time to not spend money?
That's a great question. And you know what? I'm right there with you because right before the pandemic happened, I actually took clothes down to, I forget the name of the shop, but it's down on 202 on the other end of Westchester. And you drop off your clothes and they go through them right then and there. And then you'll walk out with cash in hand for whatever they want to purchase from you. And all of a sudden I found myself, like they said, oh, it'll be about half hour. Well, that wasn't enough time to drive all the way home or really go do anything. So I kind of just was standing around, and I didn't want to stand right at the counter looking over the girl's shoulder. So I started to browse around, and I went over to this one wall, and they had just gotten new purses in, and they had all these designer new purses on the wall. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, this is not good. I'm not going to leave here with any cash, because all of a sudden I wanted to buy one. And I was like, this is not a good idea. So a lot of times what I have found is I will like actually leave the store and I'll go sit in my car and maybe do some work, or I will call old friends that I haven't talked to in a while that I've been meaning to call. Or I will start to go sit in the car and make up my grocery list. If I know I'm headed to the grocery store afterwards, I'll go start to do something in my car to plan. One time I even just took a nap in my car because I just needed to get myself out of the situation of being in the store, because the more I browsed around, I was going to end up spending everything that I had, was about to make on the items I brought in. So just kind of try to do some self-control. Another thing I've done is I've taken a friend with me or my sister with me when I've gone to do that. So then the two of us have gone and just gotten sat outside or sat in the car and chatted, something like that. So somebody that can kind of help keep you accountable and be a kind of a partner with you.
Thank you. Another question is, do you offer car loans, and are you able to share the details? Do you need to be a member?
So we do offer auto loans. We have quite a few auto loan programs. We have new and used auto loans. We have variable rate auto loans, and we also have our Driving Sense auto loan program, which our Driving Sense is kind of like a hybrid lease program. So it's like a lease like you get at the dealership, except for it's better because every time you make a monthly payment to it, you're actually owning more of the car. Whereas when you lease from a dealership, you actually don't ever own any portion of the car. You make payments to the dealership to kind of basically lease the car. And then when the 3 or 4 years is up, you hand the car back in and you don't own any portion of the car. With our lease, Driving Sense lease program, you own the portion of the car. So say you did a 3-year lease with us or Driving Sense with us, and at 1.5 years, all of a sudden you decided you wanted to sell it outright or trade it in to get another car at a dealership, you would actually get back the money that you've paid into it for that 1.5 years. And so that's actually how you have ownership in the car, even though you're leasing. So we do have various programs. We have great rates right now, very low fixed rates. And we also have a promotion right now where it's Drive Away Happy. So it's our no pay for 60 days. So when you get an auto loan with us right now, you don't even have to make a auto loan payment for the first 60 days, which is nice for some people. And we also offer a $50 cash bonus into your account if you close on an auto loan with us right now. That's our kind of new member promotion. So the one thing is you do have to be a member to get an auto loan from us. But the nice thing is to become a member, all you have to do is open a savings account with a $5 balance, and then you're eligible for all of our other products and services. So if you're interested, feel free to visit our website at benchmarkfcu.org or call us at 610-429-1600, or actually stop in any of our 3 branches during business hours. And my colleagues will be more than happy to discuss all of our auto options with you.
Thank you. So we have time for one more question. So a question that came in is, I don't think I'm alone in missing a credit card payment occasionally. Will most credit card companies forgive the late fee at least once if you call and beg?
So yes, they should, especially if it's not a norm, if it's something that's out of the blue, like, I'm talking like every 5 years, something happens and you accidentally are late. Now, if you're late more than the 30 days, if you're only late 15 days, most places just have a late fee. If you're late more than the 30 days, often it'll get reported to the credit bureau. So that's a ding and on your credit report. And we honestly cannot do anything if it gets reported to the credit bureau. But if it's just that you got charged the late fee, if you call your institution, most institutions, if you explain the situation and you chat with them, and this is not something you're doing on a monthly basis, asking them for a reversal of the fee, they would most likely have a program where they, reverse that first fee for you. That being said, I will tell you just from experience and, working with people, that your local institution is going to, like a small local credit union or bank, is going to be more inclined to do that for you than say a big box bank would be, or credit card company would be. So if you have a Wells Fargo or a Discover card or an Amex, something like that, they most likely probably will not, because they would be getting bombarded left and right, and they just don't want to take the time to deal with it. But if you have a card from, say, like a local credit union or bank, then yes, stop in, do it face to face, or pick up the phone and call right away when you realize it. And also don't wait until, this is the key for us, don't wait until 6 months after you've been charged that late fee on a credit card, late payment, to actually call up and then ask if it can be reversed. 6 months later, it's kind of like, okay, have you not been watching your statement? Did you not realize you got charged for 6 months? Do it as soon as you see the charge hit, like within at least about a week of seeing the charge hit. Don't wait 6 months to a year, because normally nobody will reverse it at that time.
Thank you, Rebecca. And then I don't know if you would like to take one more question. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we got a question. Someone said they're not too familiar with federal credit unions. Do you have other savings options apart from the one you shared?
Yes. So just like a real quick, and I'll make this brief, kind of overview on federal credit unions. So basically, federal credit unions are a not-for-profit financial cooperative. So what that means is we were formed by back in the day by a group of friends that were there to help other people that were fell upon hard times. So our philosophy has always been, credit union philosophy has always been people helping people. And because we're not for profit financial cooperative, most of us do have some type of field of membership that you have to meet to be able to join. Ours happens to be Chester County. So anyone who lives, works, worships, attends school, or regularly conducts business, or as we like to say, sneezes as they drive through, is eligible for membership at Benchmark. And when you become a member of Benchmark, you are actually not just a member of a federal credit union. When you become a member, you're actually an owner. So federal credit unions are actually owned by their account holders. So when you put that $5 in and open the account, that shows your share of membership in the credit union, and you become an owner as well. And then you will, on a annual basis, you'll actually elect a board of directors of other fellow credit union members to actually serve on the board, and the board oversees the operations of the entire credit union. So it's definitely different than a bank, because a bank is actually a group of individuals who put their own money up as investors, stockholders. And so anytime the bank starts to turn a profit, that money has to go back to the stockholders to pay them back. Whereas when a credit union turns a profit, we actually give that back to our members in the form of higher savings dividends, lower loan rates, and less fees. So there is kind of a benefit to being part of a credit union. Not only that, most credit unions are kind of smaller. Like I said, when I was talking about go to like a local institution, most credit unions you're going to find are local. And so you can go in and they'll work with you more, especially just like the time that we just had with the pandemic. I know a lot of our members came in and they were like, hey, my job shut down. I can't do this. We did a lot of workouts for our members. If they were willing to call us up and talk to us, we would sit down with them instead of just like, saying you're delinquent and charge you a late fee and then write you off and send you to collection. We would actually get on the phone with them and we'd say, what is it now that your family's income is going to be now that, your job shut down? And then we would try to do workouts with them. We even gave some of them options to defer their loan payments for like 3-4 months so they could try to build up a little bit of savings before we would turn their loan payments back on. So we extended their term by 3 or 4 months so that they didn't have to make payments for 3 or 4 months. And so that's what a credit union, since it's people helping people, will do for you over, say, a national bank or even a local bank. So basically what we've heard during this whole unprecedented times of the pandemic is that a lot of people realized they're just a number at their financial institution, and they didn't like that during a pandemic when they actually needed help. So our members said, and we actually have grown in membership since the pandemic, because a lot of people have come in and said, I want to bank somewhere where somebody knows my name, knows my family, knows something about me, so that if I fall upon hard times, they have a connection to me and I'm not just a number. They'll actually want to sit down and work it out with me. So that's kind of like the difference between a credit union and a bank.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And thank you to everyone who asked questions in our chat on Zoom and on Facebook Live. So we just want to thank you, Rebecca, and thank you again to our title sponsor, Benchmark Federal Credit Union. We're going to give away our first door prize of the day. To be eligible to win a door prize, you can register and watch via Zoom or leave a comment during a workshop while you watch on Facebook Live. So the winner of the beach tote for our first workshop is Atupel Morgan. So congratulations, and keep an eye on your inbox. We will message you and get your prize to you as soon as possible. And coming up at 10:30, we have a family scavenger hunt. So sit tight, grab the kids, and get ready for a little in-home treasure hunting. Thank you.
Thank you. And Brianna and Nick, feel free to share my email with anyone who registered for the workshop. So if they have other questions that we weren't able to get to, you can share my email and I will actually answer their questions. Or if I am not the appropriate individual at Benchmark, I'll get it to the appropriate individual so that they'll get an answer to their questions.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.